Alright YouTubers, I'm fixing to put some front struts on this 2003 Nissan Altima 3.5. I just got it fixed. It's been sitting for 10 years. We put a motor and transmission, or I did, and I'll show it to you here in a little bit. And I got these from Auto Shack. Okay, here's how the engine looks. It looked a lot better when I got it done because it was all clean. Everything was nicely polished and stuff, but this car fought me all the way. I had to actually do it twice. I dropped the motor in there, turned out to be a bad motor, pulled it out, put another one back in, this one, which is, it's off a Maxima. Then I messed up the transmission, so I had to pull the tranny out through the bottom, drop the the cradle, and the transmission came out through the bottom, put a different one in, and it's running real good. But it needs little stuff, like the struts are shot. I mean, they sound horrible. I need door handles and other little stuff, but you know, right now we're just gonna do these struts. Okay, I got the car jacked up. Got jack stands on the bottom. Don't ever just trust the jack. Lug nuts are gonna be 21 millimeter. That one decided to come up by itself. Little extra caution. Put it down there in case things go south. I don't get smashed under that vehicle. And right now we're just gonna eyeball the strut, make sure it looks the same like the one we just ordered. Let's open this box and see what we got in here. I always open it real nice and neatly in case we have to do some returning. Nicely packaged. Oh, they're heavy. Ouch. I messed up my right arm, so it's kind of hard to use a lot of strength with that right arm. It matches. It's got these two bolts right here. This ear is right here. It's got this bracket right there. It's got that little bracket right there, and it's got this bracket here with that big old bolt. So everything matches. That little bracket right there for, I guess, a brake line, but obviously mine won't go through there. So it looks good. Bolts, three. And ladies and gentlemen, these are very easy to change. Back in the day, or we used to just take the shock from the middle and use the same spring, same bushings. But guys, anymore, I tell my customer, just give me the whole assembly. It's easier and it's safer. Because when you go the other way, you got to compress this spring, and if you don't do it right, it could pop and whack you on the face or something. And another thing that another mechanic told me, which makes sense, he says when you just change the inside, you're using the old springs. That spring sometimes wore out, so you're gonna have to change it sooner or later again, or it's just gonna function right because you already got the spring that's already loose. So just go with the whole thing. I've seen people would change it and then it thumps, and that's because they didn't change this bushing. Some of them come with a separate bushing, and this bearings wore out and it'll make a weird noise. These are shot. I know the bearings are shot. I should have showed you what it's doing. Well, what this one does, when you turn it, it goes foop. You can hear it slide. The strut just goes foop, and you can hear it exactly like that. Foop, foop, you know. So I know that the bushings are shot. But just go this way. This is easier. It's in and out, and you're ready to go. Okay, this is the plan. I plan to do as little work as possible. I'm gonna loosen these two, and I'm gonna see if I can just lean this way, and then loosen those 3 bolts on top. Loosen whatever I need to over here, which I don't see anything. If it was on the right, you probably have a clip here, but I don't have a clip for that. And see if I can get away with sneaking them out in this bolt right here to that sway bar link. Sometimes those are messed up, it'll just spin, but I'll show you how I do them if they do spin. Okay, I'm gonna loosen these two first. It's an 18 millimeter on this side and a 19 millimeter on the opposite side. Hope I got everything in the right direction. Thought I heard somebody coming. Okay, now we're gonna go for this bad boy, and that's a 17 millimeter. See if it don't spin out on us. Oh no, it came out good. Okie dokie. Okay guys, you can probably at this point just bump them out. See how they're coming out? The top one looks pretty loose, but the bottom one's still kind of tight. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and loosen it from the top, and it's gonna drop. That'll allow me to wiggle it up. And I'm doing it that because, like I said, my right arm's still messed up, and I think I'm gonna have to use a lot of pressure here. I've got this little jack pushing on the lower control arm. So let me loosen up these bolts up here, and I'll let y'all watch them down here as it drops. Okay, these are 14 millimeter, and I got the jab down there, so that's why it's not dropping. But once we release some pressure, see what happens. There shouldn't be that much pressure, but you never know. Easy does it. See, now I can wiggle this and get these out easier. Like I said, guys, my right arm is messed up. I tore a tendon there. So watch the boot, guys. Oh my gosh. Almost hit that boot. Yeah, you hit that boot, you done all this work for nothing. And don't let that boot hang all the way down, because it'll pull it out of there. Hope I didn't pull it out of there just from being lazy. Bring it back up. Okay, there we go. Just be careful, because you'll pop it out of that CV axle. It'll pop out of there. You got to push it back in, so be very careful. I wasn't watching what I was doing. Almost popped it out. Okay, I don't like the way that's pulling on that boot, so just so I don't pop it out of there, I'm just gonna make myself some more work by taking this bolt off and letting that CV axle go back a little more. And it's no biggie, you can always put it back in, but why do it if you don't have to? And that's why I tell you guys, when you do these cotter pins, don't go crazy. Look how easy it was to take off. I didn't have to kill myself. Now this is gonna be I think this is a little too big. 33 millimeter. That's all I got right now. Pull this back in there. Alright. Now I'm gonna tap this in a little bit. There you go. See? The CV axle. It's not gonna stress it out. And be careful with the boot. You can take a bungee cord and hang it up, pull it to a side or something, because we're gonna need that room when we put the we can get it in there, the strut. The new ones has 15 millimeters, so remember that. I got some bungee, or yeah, call it bungee cord, holding the CV axle that way, and I'm holding this rotor and knuckle a little bit this way. I'm gonna see if I can get it in there myself. Like I said, my arm's messed up, so I'm gonna give it a shot. If I can't, I'm gonna go get my nephew. He's been in training. He's starting to come out in a few videos. Maybe that boy will take over this when I'm said and done. Okay, you're not gonna be able to see everything, but you'll be able to see something. Okay. time. You'll get there. There we go. Ugh. Okay, I got it. I'm holding it a little bit with my knee and pure left arm muscle. And I got it in there. And I'm not gonna tighten them all the way. Whew. That's enough to hold it right there. And watch that boot, guys. Oh, I hurt a little bit. Watch that boot. Make sure you don't tear it. That work will be for nothing. There we go. We got it in there. Whew. There's the bolt. Now I'll tighten them here in a little bit. Okay. Now I'm gonna try to get this CV axle back into the hub. Watch the boot again, guys. I can take that off. There we go. And why didn't I put these bolts close to me? Because I'm a dummy. Make sure you got them close to you guys, because once you line it up, you don't want to be messing with this. Ricky, don't change your number. You don't want to call nobody else. Okay, let me get you. I don't know if you could see that. Let's put the other one in. And then this one, just gonna have to hit it until it goes in. Bump the rotor with your knee. Be careful, because if you miss, you're gonna get one of these lug nuts or studs in your knee. It ain't no fun. I've done it before. Phew-wee. I thought it was gonna be harder than that. So now I can let this down. All the way. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these all the way. And I don't know the torque specs, but I'm just gonna get the manual ratchet and go by feel. Make sure you've got everything right. Make sure this line is going through the back. Everything looks good before you start tightening anything. Put this nut in there. That way this ain't gonna try to go out on me anymore. And here's the manual ratchet. Okay, here's the manual ratchet. And you don't have to go crazy on these, guys. Right there feels good enough. And I'm not trying to be really badass here, but I do these a lot that I know how far to go. I mean, if you go too hard on these, you will strip them. Right there is good enough. I use my left hand, so I know I'm not gonna go too far. And if you're not comfortable, if you didn't use the torque wrench and you're not comfortable, whenever you change the oil, look at them. Put a little mark on there. And then when you change the oil or you come check the engine, look at that little mark. See if it hasn't moved. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna put these nuts on these bolts real quick. And I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this bad boy. Get this over and done with. Carter pin. And again, don't go out crazy making a damn pretzel here. All you gotta do is put it in there. Let me get you close. Like I said, don't turn this into a pretzel. Just get it in there. Grab one side and flip it over. And then flip the other side the other way. And that's all, guys. I've never had one come out. Okay, I'm gonna tighten these. These are the 19 millimeter, and I think I made a mistake earlier, guys. These are 17 millimeter. This back one. I'm sorry. Forgive me, guys. I apologize for that. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, let's do the bottom one. Come on now. There. Now let's put this little arm. I don't know if you can see that. That's the arm I was putting in. Sway bar length. I think that's a 17 millimeter too. Yeah. Damn, look at all that rust. Alright, that looks like we're done. Let's just hook up this brake line. You may have to move stuff around a little bit. But where we at? You see that bracket? We can put that line in there. Okay, I don't have a clip for this, so I'm gonna go to the junkyard and see if I can find one, or see if they sell them at O'Reilly's. And I had to move this bracket a little bit. Took a crowbar and just pulled it out, or if you need to go back in, tap it with the hammer. Little adjustment sometimes works a little bit. Okay, we're ready for the wheel, and before you put the wheel, just like I tell y'all when I do brake jobs, check this little dust cover. Make sure you didn't bend it, because then it'll scrape on the rotor and you're gonna think that something's falling apart. Just take a pry bar, make sure it's not hitting on the rotor. Okay, and this one you can't get it once you put the wheel, so this one you want to make sure you do it before you put the wheel on. On the other ones that I showed you before, if you forget and you put the wheel, they kind of stick up about ½ an inch up here. You can get them through here. Once you put the wheel, go through the spokes here. Be careful not to scratch your tire. You go around and push that little dust cover back out. Just a little tip, because like I said, I have people that do their own brake and they come back and tell me, hey man, it's scraping real bad. And it's just that little dust cover, no biggie. Okay, here's another little hack. I hate these lug nuts. You can't reach in there. You got to use the tip of your fingers to get it in there. And if you don't get it right, then it's stuck on there. You got to figure out how to get it out. Well, I take the socket. I'm going to use electrical tape. Up goes the weasel. Put it in here. And push this just enough where it's sticking out, like right there is good enough. And now put your feet under there. Voila. Just to get him in there. They won't go all the way down, because see these lug nuts, if I don't use that tape, that lug nut will fall all the way down. Oops, sorry. That lug nut will fall through all the way down to the bottom of the socket, and I can't get in there. So this way, I can't go further than that. Perfect. Goes far enough so you can grab it, get it on the stud. Okay, now that you got it in there, do it with the tape. Put it on your impact gun. You're ready to rock and roll. And always go crisscross. I got these two, so now I know it's flush. I'll go crisscross. Once I do that, for good measures, I go all the way around. Voila, we're finished. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I should have taken a video of what it was doing before, but again, I'll try to explain it and make that noise. It would do a weird noise when you turn the wheel. That's why I turned the wheel and you couldn't hear it anymore, but before you would hear a thump, like thump, thump, and the strut would actually move like that real quick, like it would slide. It was a weird movement because this bushing was so worn out that it just would I don't know, just would do weird noise. And now it's not doing it. It's running real good. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Like always, I appreciate you, and God bless.